Hello everyone and welcome back to Cops of Fly. In this video I'm going to be giving you an overview of Splashforce. We're going to jump straight into it. We're going to begin at the settings page just to break down the functionality of the application. You can't actually resize it. This is the only size it goes to. Then you have the minimize button and the X button, and essentially you have no full screen button, so this is as big as the bot gets. Then on the top left you have the Splashforce logo. At the bottom left you have the Splashforce and the current version number at the time of recording this video. Then you have a guide button, so if you want to hit this it will redirect you to a guide in your browser, and then it says key expires and it shows your expiry date and time. You also have the edit key button, so this is essentially to go ahead and log into a different key. If you want to go ahead and click that, you can go ahead and do so. Then on your settings page you have a webhook. You can go ahead and put in your Discord or Slack webhook, and then for your sites key you can go ahead and put in a site key if you wish. If you wish to enable to capture, you hit this and you put in your key. However, I don't wish to enable it. Then you have your recapture free action. You can go ahead and enter that there. You can change the monitor delay as well if you wish, as well as the error delay. You can allow browser hardware acceleration, and also you can go ahead and configure AYCD API by entering the API key and access token, and once you do that you can connect and test. And when you make any changes to the settings page you have to hit save, and alternatively you can go ahead and reset the entire page. So for the billing session, this is where you create your profiles. So as you guys can see, I've gone ahead and actually created a test profile here. However, I'm going to go ahead and delete it and go back to normal and show you guys how to do it step by step. So you have your billing details, your shipping details, and your payment details. If you're wondering why shipping is actually grayed out, it's because I've hit this. If I hit this, I can have a separate billing and shipping. However, if you want your billing to be the same as shipping, hit this and that will be grayed out. Then you have your first name, last name, address 1, address 2, city, state, country, zip code, and phone. And then for your payment details you have name on card, card number, month, year for your expiry, your CVV, the email, and the profile name you want attached to all this, and also the option to use 3D browser if you wish. Then at the bottom you have the save button and also the delete button that I actually just showed. Then the duplicate button, so if you have a similar profile that you want to duplicate you can hit that from the drop down once you select one. And then you have the import button which pops up a file directory like so, and then you have the export button, so if you wish to export profiles you can do that as well. So when you're configuring your country you actually have a scroll bar here. You can go ahead and scroll through it, and if you actually type it takes you there. So I typed in UNIT, so it took me to the first result for UNIT. However, I'm going to go ahead and hit United Kingdom. So for the final part here I'm going to go ahead and configure my profile name, so I'm going to call it video test. Be sure to remember that as I will reference that later in the overview. But once I'm done I hit save, and as you guys can see video test gets added to the drop down, and then I have these buttons to go ahead and use it in association with the drop down over here. But let's move over to the account section. So on the account section we have our account pools. You have the pool number, the name, the account, the total, and the actions associated with it, and then you have the total at the top. Then at the bottom you can test your accounts, clear all your accounts, add them, import them and export them. Import them will pop up the file directly similar in the billing section, and obviously exporting it is exporting the account pools within Splashforce to another place. So we're going to go ahead and hit add here, and you have to use it in the formation username and passwords, and then you can go ahead and put a name here. So as you guys can see I've gone ahead and put in some random information here. The username is John with a bunch of numbers, the password is hi, and then I can configure what the name is going to be, which will appear there. So I hit save. As you guys can see, pool 1, name, John's account, the account itself, and how many accounts are in with that pool. Then with the action section I can go ahead and edit it if I wish, so this pops up once again, and alternatively I can go ahead and delete it if I wish. For the proxies page you have proxy, IP port, user and pass, status, and actions, all in association with the proxies you put in. Now at the bottom you have the test all button, the clear all button, and also you can configure where you want to test it. So Adidas or Yeezy Supply. You can click the add button to add proxies. You can import proxies which pops up a file directory, and alternatively you can export them out of Splashforce to somewhere else. So when you hit the add button it pops up like this. I can go ahead and put my proxy in here. I'm going to hit save. I'm pretty sure this proxy is expired, so if I go ahead and test it with this test button it's just going to keep saying testing because it's not available at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and delete it, and as you guys can see the total goes back to 0. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over the create task section and go over to dashboard, as I want to end the overview with the create task section. So on dashboards, as you guys can see, essentially all your tasks that you got in create will be separated. So let's say if I were to run some Supreme tasks and also some Adidas tasks, they're not actually shown all together. You have to go to separate areas. So this is the Adidas area, and obviously the headers change accordingly. Like with Supreme, you'd have the SKU, you have keywords instead, and also it changes. You have Adidas, Easy Supply, Supreme, Shopify, Dix, and Off-White. Then you can go ahead and create tasks. Your totals at the top there. You can start all, stop all, and create all in association with your task you have there. You can hit the solve captures button, which I will come back to, harvest recap free, as well as processing 3ds. You can mass edit all. So if you hit this, there's a bunch of options you can go ahead and change on here, like the site, the size, the billing profile, the quantity, the monitor mode, the proxy, and you can do a specific proxy if you wish, and also the delay. Once you're done, hit the save button, and that will go ahead and change it. However, you have the import buttons. Obviously that pops up a file directly once again. And just to break down the solve captures button, when you hit this, the capture solver goes and pops up. I'm going to go ahead and move Splashforce over here, but the capture solver pops up, and as you guys can see, I can put a specific proxy here. If I hit this and hit apply proxy, then it will work. I can add session. So I got an add session, it adds a session over there that I can go ahead and use as waiting for capture, and then I can also open up YouTube as well, and that's what the Splash browser actually looks like. I'm going to go ahead and close that down for now, but how I'm going to go ahead and do here is navigate to the create task section, and as you guys can see, this is what the create task section looks like. You have the site, size, profile, quantity, monitor mode, proxy, specific proxy, and also your custom delay. So for the purpose of this video, I've gone ahead and singled out an item here. I want to go ahead and run this as a test task. So it is the Supreme Nalgene 32 OZ bottle. It is in stock in the red and black colorway, so I want to go ahead and go for the black colorway in this case, and that is the item there. So just keep that in mind for the overview. We're going to go ahead and go to the site. I'm going to hit Supreme. You have a bunch of options here, and with every option it adapts. As you guys can see, with Supreme you have different options to Shopify. The size, I'm going to go ahead and hit not available because there is no size available. Then for the profile, we only configured one profile in this overview, so we're going to hit video test. Then for the quantity, I only want one. For the color, I said I wanted a black, but we can go ahead and choose between black and red, as both of those are in stock. For capture bypass, I'm going to leave that as false because we don't have that in the EU. Proxy is going to be set to false. That's why a specific proxy goes there and gets grayed out. Then we have positive and negative keywords. I'm pretty sure the only keyword I'm going to need for positive is Nalgene. And then for task mode, I can choose mobile, desktop, or browser. I'm going to choose desktop, and then for proxy I can do false or true, and for the purpose of this video I'm going to hit false. And then for custom delay, we can go ahead and check this. So I'm going to go ahead and lower the checkout delay to 750 milliseconds, and the error is 1000 milliseconds. So before I create the task, I can go ahead and reset this if I want to go ahead and start from the beginning. But if I hit create task, as you guys can see, nothing actually prompts me that I've created it. However, if I go to the dashboard and head over to the Supreme section, as you guys can see, the task is created. It says task 1, the keyword positive is Nalgene, negative we didn't configure any, the color is black, the size is not available, the profile is video test, and the status is idling. Then we have the start button, the stop button, the delete button, the edit button. As you guys can see, it takes you back here. And then you have the clone button, which goes ahead, and if I go ahead and do this and go back to dashboard, there is 2 tasks created. I can go ahead and delete it if I wish. So what we're going to go ahead and do here is going to hit solve captures, so the capture solver pops up. We're going to move Splashforce over here so both of them are in view. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the start button here. It's going to go through all the statuses, waiting for capture. It will solve the capture, sleeping for 3000 milliseconds. Give it a second, submitting payment, and this is where it's going to loop because the payment information is inaccurate. So that concludes the overview of Splashforce at Cop Supply.